Now, can you guys hear me? Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Because I was just chatting away and nobody was saying anything, and I think that I may have been on mute. So if you guys can hear me, give me a shout out. I'm going to go on because I really think I'm going now. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for answering that. Hey, good evening. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Missouri. If you're on, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're watching from. I appreciate you guys being here with me on Sunday night. Tonight, we're going to do a fun fold using the Stippled Roses set. So this is my favorite stamp set, I think, out of the new mini catalog, the January to April mini catalog, and my favorite, maybe not my favorite DSP from the Celebration, but pretty close. So I love this set. I've made a ton of cards with it. So what I've done is I've done kind of a modified Z fold. Hey, Lori from over there in Knoxville. Thanks. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Nell. Hey, Karen. Hey, Angie. Hey, Lori. So here's the card today. So this is a thank you card. I'm going to have another version of this later on this week, which is a sympathy card. And we're using the Softly Sophisticated set from Celebration. So lots of Celebration inspiration coming this week on my blog. So this is our card, and we're going to get going. And hopefully you won't hear my husband yelling. I think it's halftime, so that's good. He's watching the Chiefs game. That's why I'm kind of frazzled, because I just ran up here from there. All right, so what we have is we have our Simply Score tool, and this shade of Wild Wheat is measuring 5.5 by 8.5. And on that 8.5 side, I'm going to refresh this because it looks like it says that I'm no longer active, but I have a feeling I really am. Unless, of course, the internet went down. Okay, we're good. We're good, but maybe I won't be able to see comments. Let's see if I can fix that. But maybe I won't be able to see comments. There we go. Oh, hey, Dawn, thanks for joining. All right, so this is a sheet of 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to score it at 2/8 and 4 1/4. And while I've got my score tool out here, I've got another piece of Wild Wheat. This one is measuring 4 inches by 9 inches. And I'm going to score at 3 and again at 6. All right, so we're done with the score tool. So we're going to put this away and hopefully... Hey, Vicki, we've got a full house tonight. Is nobody watching the Chiefs, or is it just because it's halftime? All right, so we're going to work on the center, or the middle side, the mechanism side first. So we're going to fold this in an accordion fold. And so basically we're making a mountain and a valley. There's a couple of different ways you can refer to that. And hopefully I have a bone folder here somewhere. There we go. And that way we can give that a nice good burnish, because those really good burnishes keep those fun folds from opening. Now, this is a heavy card. There's lots of layers, guys. Lots and lots of layers. So, oh, Rosie, thanks. Thanks for that. Us Missouri folk, I think a lot of us are watching the Chiefs this season. Okay, so I've got 3 Calypso Coral mats measuring at 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. I have 2 pieces of basic white. They're measuring 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then I do have a piece of DSP that's measuring at that same measurement. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to do this center side first, the center part. I've covered up my seal. Okay, so the other cool thing, why is Facebook doing this to me tonight? It just keeps kicking me off. It may be my internet, I don't know. Okay, so the other cool... There we go. All right, so I'm going to take some Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to put it along this DSP. So this is from the Softly Stippled DSP that's available from Celebration. It is absolutely stunning. So if you don't have it, you want to get it. And there's a couple of great tutorials we'll send you. All right, so I went ahead and colored these beforehand. We're going to do some coloring, but I didn't think you wanted to spend 5 hours watching me color tonight. So I've already colored and die cut these. These are from the Softly Stippled collection in that bundle. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive. And if you've watched me before, you know that liquid adhesive is kind of my nemesis. I have a tendency to get a little heavy-handed with it. So I'm just being real careful to not get too much in there. So I'm just going to layer these so that they look real pretty. So you have something on this inside mechanism. Okay, I'm going to put that away. That may be the only time I need that. But I went ahead and did that ahead of time because I didn't think you'd want to watch me color all that. All right, so I'm being careful as to what side I'm putting this on because we want to make sure that you've got it going so that your folded edge is here on your right is on the top and the folded edge on the left is on the top. So if you've got any questions, give me a shout out. Hopefully I'll see it in the comments, but I'm telling you, your folded edge is here. Facebook is really giving me a fit tonight. All right, so that's going to be that inside. So now let's go ahead and do a little stamping, and then we'll do a little bit of coloring. So what I have is I have a Mementos ink pad, and I'm going to ink this up with my Mementos ink pad with the Softly Stippled. So this is a pretty large stamp. This is going to be on an E block. So this is really good size. So you want to ink it up really good with Memento. And the reason that I'm using Memento is because I'm using my Stampin' Blends on this. And I want to make sure that I turn the stamp the way I want it to. So I have enough room for the sentiment so that the blends don't bleed. So if you use any of our colored ink pads, those are water-based. And those are going to cause a little bit of bleeding. So, and you'll also notice that when I'm using a Mementos pad, I'm doing the ink to stamp method. I'm not doing stamp to ink. So stamp to ink is really when you take your stamp and put it directly on the ink. The reason I do this is because that stamp is large, I really want to get it all the way around. All right, let's see here. How do we want to turn that one? We'll turn that right there in that corner. So one of these is going to go on the inside and one is going on the outside. So we're going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'm bringing in my blends here. And what you'll see is I have 2 greens and 3 kind of orangish peach ones. So what I've used is I've got dark and light Calypso Coral, but I also am bringing in a light Cajun Craze. And the reason that I'm doing that is because there's a lot of dimension in this card, and it's naturally there with the shading. So what I'm going to do with that dark or that light Calypso Coral or Cajun Craze, Cajun Craze, is I'm just kind of dotting because I want to add a little more color. Just, you know, nothing is just one color in nature. And our flowers have so many different colors in them. And dots are a really good way to create that extra color. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of do that a little bit on both. I'm kind of going along where it's super dark and lots of ink is already from that stamp. Stampin' Up has done all of the work for us. All we have to do is be creative with it. All right, so now I'm going to take that dark Calypso Coral and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to put in a little bit more. As you see. Now you want to do this on basic white. Very Vanilla is pretty good about taking the color, but you need something that's really going to help that color move around and absorb. So some of your other whites that you can get don't really love alcohol inks. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color. I'm using the bullet end. So our Stampin' Blends have a brush end and then it has a bullet end. And when I'm doing my coloring, I kind of do opposite of what a lot of people do. A lot of people will do the brush end when they're filling something in. And I don't do that because I feel like that can get too much ink on your paper, and then it saturates and it doesn't blend as well. Because I'm going to be going over this quite a bit because I want this to kind of just finally just muddle together. Now the other cool thing about this is underneath my grid paper, I have a glass mat. I have the Stampin' Up glass mat. And I have found that that glass mat really helps keep that ink wet. And we want that ink to stay wet because that's what helps it blend. So we're just doing some quick coloring here. I was afraid this was going to take too long. But I just wanted to share how beautiful this is. All right, so we're going to just do it real quick. We won't do as much blending on this one, and I'll come back and do it tonight. All right. The other thing is this is just really beautiful just in the black and white. This particular stamp set, I've done it in black and white. I've done it in, oh, we need to do this little one too. So you'll see using that fine bullet point just lets you just blend away, and the colors just kind of move around. That alcohol reactivates the other colors, and it just helps move it around. The other great thing is if you make a mistake, you can pull your color lifter in, which is really just an alcohol marker, I believe. And you can remove some of these colors. Okay, I'm glad that you guys are liking this card. So I always work with the dark first. And then I usually, after I'm done, I go in with the light, and then I can always add the dark later. So that's the other cool thing is, once you stop coloring, you can come back the next day, reactivate all of that ink, and it'll, if you find that you don't love what you've done, you can just go back and add to it. And sometimes, oh, that's not the side I want. Ooh, that's not good. All right, there we go. I got a little excited, I guess. Pulled that right on off. All right, so while we're coloring, let's talk about what we've got going on. So your sales this month, if you purchase anything using my host code, you're gonna get a 5-card tutorial using this particular set right here because we love it so much. You've also got, if you have a big order, like $300, or you've got several friends that want to purchase, there's extra host rewards. So that's an extra $30 on host rewards. But if you have a big order and you don't have a lot of friends to throw in that big order, give me a shout out. Join my team. Take a discount on that big order. That's the best way to do it. All right, so there we are. A little bit. I just can't let it go. Need to add that extra color. And so, see, I'm just going back over this again, kind of moving that color around where I was just adding those dots. All right, that's not nearly as bad. All right, let it go. Put the markers away, Tara. You can color all night. Okay, now for the rest of this front, Janice, I'm glad you like this card. Thank you so much. All right, I've got some Calypso Coral ink in our sentiment. I'm just going to line that up on my grid paper and give that a nice little stamp there. And then, you know what we didn't do? I'll do it in a minute. All right, so now we're going to add this with some Stampin' Seal to a Calypso Coral mat. And this is going to go on the front of our little mechanism. We're just giving that nice little area around, just a peekaboo of that extra color. So you can see with all of these layers, there is definitely, this is going to need an extra stamp for sure. Or better yet, hand deliver it. All right, and then there's plenty of area to write a couple of words to whoever you're sending that thanks to. Here we go. Now we're going to get to the actual card mechanism. So I've seen other demonstrators, they will make a fun fold like this and just have it as an example. They won't put all of this stuff in it. They'll just do the bases so that they know, have it handy to look at. So you could always do that. Or you can come back to my blog and always look up the directions. All right, so I've got a piece of that softly stippled DSP that we're going to put on the back here. And here's my wild wheat. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining. I'm going to fold that in half and give it a good burnish. This is our card base. And then we're going to fold this back again and give it a nice burnish. And I'm going to do it a couple of times because we want to make sure that it's going to fold well. Okay. So now we'll do a little bit of this softly stippled mat here. Put it on the inside of the card base, just leaving a little bit of that wild wheat out. How many people are pro wild wheat? How many love it? When I first saw it, did not love it. I have to tell you, I think it's surpassed Night of Navy for me as my favorite go-to color. I had to order 2 new packs last week because I had gone through it so much. Oh, lots of hearts. Everyone's loving the wild wheat. I think it is stunning. It was perfect for Christmas cards as like that old gold. Our kids' high school colors were purple and gold, and we always loved that old gold over that bright. It doesn't look like poop, Amy. All right, so I'm going to put the Calypso Coral design on the front because I love Calypso Coral orange. You know, an orangish color. Those are my go-tos. All right, and then we're going to put this kind of fabric looking texture DSP on the inside. So here's your card base, just a regular half a page, and then this is going to fit right in here. So what I'm going to do with this particular one is I'm going to take tear tape. And the reason I like tear tape for these, just like with many of my fun folds, you know that they're going to be open and shut a little more, and you want that mechanism to hold up. It's not really a mechanism because it's not doing any interactive work, but it kind of is. So I'm going to put 3 pieces wide of this tear tape, and I've got it on the back. I'm going to pull up these sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to lay this here. And I'm going to make sure that I've got it neat and tidy so that it's not crooked, even though it looks a little crooked here. Careful, careful. There we go. All right, here we are. I hope we're still live. Please tell me we're still live. Facebook, what you doing to me tonight? Okay, we are. Good.
All right, please tell me we're still live.
All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this up and kind of see where that goes to, because we don't want to seal it all the way shut, because then you're losing all of it. So just about 2 pieces of tear tape on that one. Or just 1, because that's what you have. And then we'll do a little bit of seal. There we go. All right, so I'm going to fold this over, and there we are. Seal that shut, and there's today's card. Now, it wouldn't be complete if we didn't add a little blingy bling. So I've got the ombre matte decorative dots. And honestly, you could do the green ones and the Calypso coral. That would be okay. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to do 3 on this one. All right. Now let's do our envelope and we'll be done. Next week, what have I got on my blog all week? Let's see here. Last week we did Valentine's Day cards. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're liking it. Oh, so we do have 2 wild wheat haters. I don't know what to do about that. Let's see here. Back to the blog. We've got a love challenge on Thursday. You don't want to miss that. I've got another fun fold that's coming out on Tuesday that you'll not want to miss. It's another version of this card. This fun fold at least. Let's see here. I can't think of anything else we have that's important other than Celebration. We're almost halfway through. I can't hardly believe it. So there should be lots more inspiration with those items coming out. All right, so I've just got a piece of DSP I put on this basic white envelope. As I said, definitely want to do added postage with this one because it is big. So here's today's card. Thank you so much for spending a part of your Sunday night with me. I'll be back next Sunday with another card tutorial. Make sure and check out my blog for a couple of reels this week, or my Facebook page. And thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week. Thanks.